Take a shot every time I say vibes, I guess. I don't know. Hey, hi, hello. It's me, Tiana, here, back at it again for another video. And if you can't tell by my very hastily put together background, it's Halloweek. So I wanted to just, try something. I wanted to challenge myself to post videos every day for a week. So what better time to do that than Halloween? This is a channel about media, and I like a lot of Halloween media, even though I don't really like to be scared. Like, that's not really my jam, but I do like spooky, and also really like witch content and ghosts kind of sometimes in certain contexts. And I just wanted to do some videos talking about different Halloween related things for a week. So you're gonna get 7 videos of me talking about different things semi-related to Halloween. So today we are talking about my favorite Halloween cartoons, my favorite animated Halloween content, right? What you should be watching if you want to watch something spooky season, you want to get into those vibes, you don't actually really want to be all that scared, but you want to feel, I guess Halloween for punks. But so we're gonna start with Bob's Burgers. So Bob's Burgers is a show that comes on Fox. I'm pretty sure it comes on Fox. The show does have a Halloween episode every season. I think except for the first season, there's no Halloween episode. However, the Halloween episodes that I personally would recommend you watch are Full Bars, which is in, I think, the 2nd season. And it's when the kids go into the rich neighborhood to get like full-size candy bars, because that's like a thing that everybody just knows, I guess, that rich people give better candy. Get terrorized by the teenagers in that neighborhood for, I guess it's called Mayhem Night or Misfit Night or something like that. And they got like pee balloons thrown on them, and it's a funny episode. Some of the other episodes are like Fortnite, Tina Witch, an episode about the main character Tina thinking she's a witch, and it also like plays off Teen Witch, the movie Teen Witch that I've never seen. Next we're gonna do with Rugrats. So Rugrats is like top tier cartoons for me. It just hits at such a nostalgic point, mostly because Susie was like the first character on TV I ever saw that really like resonated with me. I was like, oh, she, her hair is like mine, she looks like me, like I can be Susie. I felt like her personality was very similar to mine. We played similar roles in our like friend groups, so I was like, yeah, I love Susie. So Rugrats has a special place in my heart. Rugrats does have Halloween specific episodes. They have a crossover with Our Real Monsters, but the episode that I actually want to talk about, my favorite episode of the Rugrats, that's like spooky season vibes, is the episode when Angelica finds out that her parents might be having another baby. And then she ends up having a nightmare in which the baby is like demanding all the attention and everything. Like her parents forget about her, and she the baby turns into like a giant and tries to eat her. It's a very, very terrifying episode, honestly and truly. And like the wildest thing is, I feel like, and I might be misremembering, but I feel like the first time I saw that episode was around the time my mom was pregnant with my sister, and I was like 7. So like, it was terrifying because I was like, I just knew that what was happening to Angelica was going to happen to me. Like, I was going to have an evil sibling who was going to come and take all my parents' attention. It was traumatizing, honestly and truly. It's one of the episodes of Rugrats I remember vividly, like frame for frame. It is super, super scary, honestly and truly. Next, we're going to go with SpongeBob. Now, SpongeBob has a million episodes that you could say is like Halloween-ish or spooky episodes, and they also have like true Halloween episodes. But the episodes that I want to talk about for SpongeBob that I feel like you should watch if you just want to get into the spooky seasons is Graveyard Shift. And you might not know about that title, but I have absolutely seen that episode if you've seen SpongeBob. It's the hash slinging, slash slinging, smash slinging slasher, when Squidward tells SpongeBob the story of the Hatchling Slasher, how he always comes when the night shift or the graveyard shift is working, and haunts them and murders people with his I think it was a spatula for a hand or a hook for a hand. I can't remember. It was some kind of thing for a hand. The other episode is Scaredy Pants. That is the true Halloween episode of SpongeBob. Once again, you might not remember it by the title, but you probably remember it from the final shot of SpongeBob dressed as a ghost, and then they take his ghost costume off and he's just a skeleton with a brain. Finally, Nasty Patty, which is honestly a top 5 episode of SpongeBob if you ask me personally. Nasty Patty is the episode, once again, you might not know by the title, but it's the episode when the health inspector comes and he Mr. Krabs doesn't believe that he's actually a health inspector. He gives him a rotten patty. The health inspector chokes, and SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs believe he is dead. They try to bury him, and then shenanigans ensue. We'll just leave it at that. It's honestly such a funny episode of SpongeBob. Like, the first, I want to say like 3 or 4 seasons of SpongeBob, you cannot go wrong by picking any of those episodes because they're all so very funny. But this is the best one in my opinion if you're trying to get into the spooky season. It has like ghosts and jump scares a little bit and like spooky vibes, but it's not really a scary episode. And like I said, it's not a Halloween episode. It just, you know, has the vibe. Next, we're gonna do Kim Possible. So Kim Possible has a couple different episodes that you could say are giving Halloween vibes. My favorite of the one, they do have a true Halloween episode, which is October 31st is the name of the episode, and it's about Kim wanting to go to a Halloween party to hang out with this dude that she has a crush on. However, she gets one of Draken's devices attached to her, and it grows in armor every single time she tells a lie. So throughout the episode, we see her trying to navigate her different relationships to get people to leave her alone so she can go to the party, while every time she tells a lie, the armor on her body grows. Then you also have Shigo and Draken trying to get the armor back from her, so you have her having to fight them and also try to stay cool and look cool for her crush. It's a Halloween episode in the fact that it's set on Halloween, but to me it's not really spooky. It doesn't really have any Halloween or scary like vibes to it. However, the episode I would suggest if you do want to watch Kim Possible and you do want to have a little bit of a scary vibe is the episode Sink or Swim. Is the season 1 episode. It's very early in the series, like season 1 episode like 3 or 4. It's when Kim and the cheerleading squad go along with Ron and the coach, I cannot think of what his name is, are supposed to be going to a competition, and their bus breaks down at camp. They get stranded at the camp that Ron used to go to when he was a kid, and then they're attacked by a swamp monster. I won't give up any other of the plot, but it's one of the few episodes of Kim Possible that has like, you know, monsters and like scariness, a spookiness to it. So yeah, I would suggest you watch that one. Phineas and Ferb. So Phineas and Ferb is another show where they have a lot of Halloween episodes or spooky episodes. Phineas and Ferb tended to have episodes every season, and multiple episodes every season about Halloween, which is honestly like tripping me out because the show is set during summer, so how are you having multiple Halloween episodes? But whatever. Phineas and Ferb, the episode I would suggest would be One Good Scare, which is the episode when Isabella has the hiccups and Phineas builds an entire haunted house just to help her get rid of her hiccups. Like, he wanted to scare her. So I guess that makes sense for it to be a Halloween episode set in the summer, because it wasn't Halloween themed, it was just a scary episode, right? And then the monster of Phineas and Ferbenstein. I love the episodes of Phineas and Ferb where they sort of put the characters in a different world or a different universe. This was basically Ferb's grandfather, I think. It might have been Phineas's grandfather. Either way, it was one of their grandfathers was telling them a story about the olden days of a monster, a town where it was a monster that was attacking the town, and we get to see all of the characters that we normally see in this past town as different characters in that universe. And then we also have Drusseltinoween, which is an episode where Vanessa throws a Halloween party at her father's mansion that he inherited or something like that. And it's just a really good episode. Again, it's one of the episodes that we get to see all of the characters interacting together. Characters that don't normally get to be together, and it's cool. And then there's also Night of the Living Pharmacist, which was the Halloween special. I think that was a full on special. I think that's the most iconic of the Halloween stuff related to Phineas and Ferb. But I think the ones that I named are just as good. But there are literally, I think 8 or 9 Halloween episodes of Phineas and Ferb, so you can, look that up and look at some other ones, because I think they do. Phineas and Ferb is a great show in general, and I feel like most of their episodes are good. You can't really go wrong. Hey Arnold. Some of my favorite Halloween or spooky related episodes of Hey Arnold are The Haunted Train, which I think is a true Halloween episode, but it starts with Arnold's grandfather telling them the story of a haunted train, the legend of the haunted train, and that the train goes straight to hell. And they basically hear this story, and they're like, they wanted to investigate because they were bored. So they go to the subway and they get on the train, and they try to investigate and find out whether or not the train is actually haunted. And then we also have the episode of Arnold's Halloween, which I think is such an amazing episode. A Halloween special for Hey Arnold, and really for any cartoon. Hey Arnold is another one of my top tier favorite cartoons. It just aged so well. I feel like all the episodes are still such a great watch. They're still so funny and interesting and well made. And who doesn't love jazz music? So much jazz. But the episode of Arnold's Halloween is basically Arnold gets a radio, somehow gets onto the radio, and is reading Orson Welles' story, the War of the Worlds, which is an alien invasion story. As the kids in his grade are dressed up as aliens for Halloween, the two stories sort of interconnect when people hear this radio broadcast and believe that it's real, and then also see these kids dressed up as aliens roaming the streets of the town. It's not actually really all that scary, but it's just really well made. It's really funny, and I think it's an interesting take on the Halloween episode. We have Sid's Revenge, which is not a true Halloween episode, but I do think it gives a little bit of a spooky vibe. It's basically Sid gets mad at the principal and makes a voodoo doll of him and curses it, and then the principal ends up going on a leave of absence, and Sid finds out that he's in the hospital, and he believes that his voodoo doll is the reason why he's in hospital. So he starts to feel remorseful, and shenanigans ensue. There's also another Sid episode where he believes that Stinky is a vampire that is also giving spooky vibes, and it is very funny. Sid was a great character, very underrated. And then last 3 true Halloween episodes were Headless Cabby and Friday the 13th, which was 1 episode, and then Ghost Bride. Headless Cabby was the Headless Horseman story, but it was about a cabbie, and it's truly a little bit scary. Honestly, watch that one during the day, because that one is a little bit scary. And then Friday the 13th was just an episode in which Arnold and Gerald are trying to prove that superstitions aren't real, but they do end up getting cursed by the superstitions that they keep doing, black cats and running through under ladders and breaking glass and all of that. And it's just a really interesting episode. I really like the way it ends and how everything comes together. All the plot points that we see happening in the episode comes together in the end. The grandma on that show is also a very underrated character, I feel like, and she is great in that episode. And then finally, Ghost Bride. Ghost Bride is the episode where basically another urban legend of a ghost bride who was left at the altar by her fiance, who ended up marrying her sister, and she murdered them both, and now she haunts the town. So it's a true Halloween spooky episode, and it's a little scary. It's a little scary, and it has a lot of twists and turns, and it's just a fun watch. Courage the Cowardly Dog and the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So Courage the Cowardly Dog, obviously, I feel like if you are around my age, you probably grew up watching this show. It's a show basically about a dog who lives with this family of Muriel and Eustace, and weird things happen. So they have a bunch of different episodes that are spooky because that's kind of the vibe of the whole show. It's lots of ghosts or weird things or hauntings or monster episodes or things trying to eat you. There are some episodes that are like genuinely terrifying, and then other episodes that are just kind of weird, like really strange. And then the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is basically about two kids, Billy and Mandy, who trick the Grim Reaper into being their best friend forever. And then because again the main character is the Grim Reaper, we see a whole bunch of supernatural sort of elements. Literally any episode you turn on could be viewed as a Halloween-ish, spooky-ish episode. But there is a true Halloween episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm sorry, of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I cannot think of the name of it. Something about a jack-o'-lantern. I can't remember, but it's when Grim was like beefing with the jack-o'-lantern man. Cannot think of what his name is. We have Star versus the Forces of Evil, which is another one of my favorite shows. It is also a newer show. I don't know if I put a lot of new shows on here, but Star versus the Forces of Evil is a show about a girl from a different universe who comes to Earth because she was sort of wreaking havoc in her universe, and she was supposed to be a princess and lead her kingdom, but she was just getting into too many shenanigans, so they sent her to Earth to finish her education and sort of like calm her down and keep her safe. The Halloween episode of that show is Hungry Larry, which is basically the family that she's staying with is trying to have a Halloween party, but it's not very scary and the kids don't want to stay there, so she conjures a monster called Hungry Larry to help make the party scarier, but then he eats all the guests because obviously his name is Hungry Larry. Shenanigans ensue and all of that. Gravity Falls is another show that has a lot of like weird, spooky, scary elements to it that you really could turn on any episode and it will put you in those spooky vibes, give you those spooky feelings. But they do have true Halloween episodes. You have the episode Summerween, which is when Dipper feels like he is too old to go trick-or-treating and he wants to hang out with the older kids. And there's like a ghost the ghost of Summerween who eats you if you don't have the right spirit for the holiday. They get attacked and they have to gather a certain amount of candy or he's going to eat them. My favorite of the Halloween spooky all the time sort of genre is Scooby-Doo. If you know me in real life or if you follow me on any of my social sites, you probably already know that I am obsessed with Scooby-Doo. I dressed up as Velma for Halloween last year, and I was actually going to be Daphne this year because my hair is red. You probably can't really tell from the camera light, but my hair is red right now. But I don't know if I'm still gonna dress up as what did I say? Daphne. I don't know if I'm still gonna dress up as Daphne. I haven't decided yet. Either way, Scooby-Doo, you can really turn on any version of Scooby-Doo. If you're going to watch like the shows, the Scooby-Doo shows, I would suggest you watch Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. That is my favorite of the Scooby-Doos. You also can watch Scooby-Doo Where Are You, which is like the OG. I don't think that was the first Scooby-Doo, but it's one of the Scooby-Doos from like the 70s. It's one of my favorites. Also, A Puppy Named Scooby-Doo is a great cartoon. All the Scooby-Doos are on the Boomerang app if you're looking for like where you can watch Scooby-Doo, even the old ones. Like every version of Scooby-Doo is on the Boomerang app. I think the Boomerang app is like $50 for a year, or like $4.99 or $5.99 monthly. So if you just want to get it for the month and watch all the Scooby-Doo to your heart's content, you can do that. This is not sponsored, obviously. I just really like Scooby-Doo, so I can tell you where to find it. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated is actually on Netflix, and Scooby-Doo, I don't think it's Where Are You, but a couple of the other Scooby-Doos are also on Netflix. They just put those on Netflix maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. Now I can't tell you if they're still there, but the last time I looked at Netflix, they were on there. So if you have Netflix, that's another option. However, the recommendation that I want to give is the Scooby-Doo movies. I feel like a lot of the Scooby-Doo movies from the early 2000s are just really just iconic. Like you have to watch. So my favorites are Scooby-Doo Ghoul School and Scooby-Doo Witches Ghosts, and then Scooby-Doo and the Headless Horseman. So Headless Horseman is actually from the 70s, I want to say. It's one of the like OG Scooby-Doo Halloween specials. And it's basically the story of the Headless Horseman. I guess that's like, I've noticed with my like themed movies that I like, I tend to just like a certain story, and like to watch different takes. Like with Christmas, if I do this during Christmas, you'll probably see that a lot of it is the Christmas Carol. I really like any version of a Christmas Carol. With Halloween, I guess I just really like any version of the Headless Horseman story. So that is a good Scooby-Doo. And then Witches Ghost is the most iconic of the Scooby-Doo movies. It is the one with the Hex Sisters, where they're trying to help the Hex Sisters. And honestly, I'm a Hex girl. The Hex Girls, where they're trying to help the Hex Girls. That's the name of the group, the Hex Girls. But the song I'm a Hex Girl and I'm gonna put a spell on you is out of this word iconic. Like still to this day, people are dressing up as Hex Girls for Halloween. Like in every iteration of Scooby-Doo afterwards, like all the TV shows, they've included the Hex Girls because they just were that iconic. Like they really shook the game up. And then Ghoul School is Scooby-Doo. They're at like a girls' school for like ghosts, and they're like solving a mystery or something. I think it's just Shaggy and Scooby-Doo in Ghoul School, but the whole Scooby gang is in Witches Ghosts and the Headless Horseman, I'm pretty sure, but I haven't watched that one in a while. But yeah, that is it. Those are my suggestions if you want to watch some animated series during this spooky Halloween season. Once again, thank you as always for watching. Please subscribe if you like this content and you want to see more content like this from me. I was saying in a video that I'm pretty sure that I scrapped, that I was wondering if anybody would be interested in me just doing like a favorites video. So this is kind of like me dipping my toe in that, giving you my favorite Halloween, something that's on brand and on trend. So if you would like to see me do more favorites like this, put that in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. I'll take your thumbs up to mean that you want to see me do more stuff like this. Like I said, put in the comments what kind of favorites, like you want to see me do my favorite rom-coms, want to see me do my favorite action movies, you want to see me do my favorite Disney Channel original movies, my favorite Nickelodeon movies. I feel like people talk a lot about Disney Channel original movies but don't really talk much about the Nickelodeon movies. I'll give you one hint, it's because most of them suck, but I will talk about them if you want me to talk about them. But yeah, so that is it. Like I said in the comments, tell me what you want me to talk about. Like this video if you like this content, and I'll see you in the next